Hello and welcome to Grand Park at Colts Camp. It's day 8 in terms of practices. It's more days than that in terms of training camp. I'm not sure exactly how much. I'm going to start mine off today. I'm Joel A. Erickson. This is Nate Atkins. I'm going to start this off today with my football thing that gave me joy. Nate, I heard 2 fans cheer for the defense. No offense, Colts fans, but I've been coming out here for a while. You guys never cheer for good defensive plays. Never. But there were 2 fans today. And not just when they made the play, saying, hey, defense, let's get a stop here on the offense. Just an elevated level of fandom from those 2. So that's my football thing that gave me joy. Nate, your takeaways from today.
Man, all it took was Dwight Freeney getting in the Hall of Fame, and it got everyone focused on defense again. My football thing that gave me joy was the now competition that's forming around the fights. I think you were getting DeForest Buckner and Michael Pittman Jr. going on that a little bit just because Michael Pittman Jr.'s led a lot of these fights. We didn't have any today, but we've had a lot out here. And Michael Pittman Jr. kind of joined in on DeForest's interview and just said that it wouldn't be a competition if the 2 of them fought, which is not something many humans would say to a guy like DeForest Buckner, but it's a window into Pittman and how fearless he is. And so it kind of shows you what these kind of things are. It's like they get physical, and then it's sort of like it's nothing actually lingering and nothing bigger than that. So that was kind of fun.
Pitt likes to throw some jokes at Buckner's way. I was lobbing a softball to let Buckner get back in the other way. Takeaways from today, free safety competition is still top of mind. Nick Cross and Rodney Thomas make plays today. Thomas has pretty firmly been second team. They were changing guys all over the place. Julian Blackman was back there some. Cross was back there some. Did Harrison play back there today?
He didn't.
Not today. But they've kind of moved around. They still just no clarity there on exactly what's going on. We'll say this, though, that interception from Nick Cross, that's a big deal because that's the thing they're looking for him to do.
Yeah, that was a really nice play. It was like a one-handed, about one-handed, but he was diving to the ground, so that was impressive. I guess my takeaway from today was the play E.J. Speed made down the field. It was a throw to Josh Downs that would have been a touchdown, and Josh, we know how secure his hands are, and E.J. just kind of sprints from way far away to get back there and make a play on the ball. And I just love when I see a linebacker do that, because that is a really hard play to make, is when you have to turn your back to the ball. You don't know, you're trying to match up a route that you weren't really looking for in the first place, and then try and time that up with the ball. And just you saw the athleticism from Speed to get back there, just some of the awareness to make that play, and it showed a little bit of his growth, because he's been a little wild in the past where he plays, there's often been a risk of penalties for him. That play was just really in control, and just a good window into kind of how far he's come along as a linebacker in the system. They keep turning him out. The guys keep getting better, and I think he's the latest example.
First preseason game is fast approaching. Colts will play Denver on Sunday. Got 2 more sessions out here at Grand Park before that. We will both be here. For the Indy Star, I'm Joel A. Erickson. This is Nate Atkins.
What have you seen from Layatu, particularly when it comes to his hunger, knowing what he's been through, and how he's kind of taken that and implemented it to his first training?
Yeah, I mean, you could just tell the kid loves ball. You know what I'm saying? And just seeing obviously his growth throughout since OTAs, and he just pops off on tape each and every day with the effort that he plays with, and he's just constantly showing up on tape, and it's been impressive to see so far.
What about Quiddy? I mean, he's talking about losing like 8 pounds. Have you noticed any differences in how he plays?
Most definitely. I mean, when he showed up to report day, I mean, I told Quiddy, he doesn't look like a old school middle linebacker anymore. I mean, he leaned up a bunch, and you can tell the difference in the hard work that he's put in during the off season. I mean, he's been popping off on tape as well, especially in the pass rush.
Are you mad that Michael Pittman hasn't tried to fight you in practice yet?
Pitt knows better. He picks and chooses his battles. You know what I mean? He knows he's in a different weight class.
Twin right here.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. We're like twins, but he's in a different weight class, so he knows. He's a smart guy.
I like that even at the lean in to the mic.
How have you seen guys step up with Sampson out?
Yeah, I mean, it's been, obviously Sampson was a big blow for us. I just feel terrible. I know the hard work that he put in throughout the offseason, and, obviously for his season to be cut short, before we even start. It's terrible to see, but seeing the guys step up and really take on that role, and obviously is a open, it's a really open spot, and it's competition. It just makes everybody better. You know what I mean? Having competition with amongst all the ends, even at the D tackle position. So it's it's only going to make guys better.
What have you seen from Tommy and Taven at the D tackle?
Yeah, just obviously just based off of last year. I mean, just growth. You know what I mean, and especially with Tommy Wall being a young player, the coaching points that he's received from Coach Partridge throughout OTAs and early on in camp. You can see the strides that he's made each and every single day.
Is he playing with more power than he did last year?
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, a lot more power. Obviously, he's a twitchy guy and a powerful guy, and he's really using that power and learning to really play the game within the game and working off of his power as well. You know what I mean? Knowing when an offensive lineman is settling for his power, now he's going to go to his working an edge and the speed rush. So it's been pretty cool to see.
When you kind of hit this hot part of training camp, maybe you're 2 weeks in. What does EJ's speed bring to just the team with his personality?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, just his energy. Obviously, EJ is always being a positive guy each and every single day, and he comes with a lot of energy, and he likes to talk a lot of game throughout throughout practice and stuff like that. But it's some good energy for the defense to feed off of.
What do you want to see from the defensive line improving this year after what you did last year?
Yeah, as a defensive line, obviously in the run game, we want to dominate the run game, and because that's where it all starts. Now, when it comes to the pass game, we did great in sacks and everything, but just consistent pressure on the quarterback throughout the entire game. You know what I'm saying? Constantly being a problem, and I think obviously we have the guys in the room to do that.
When it comes to playing football, how much does your why matter? Your personal reason for playing, whatever it is, and how much does that, add to your desire to be successful?
No, yeah, you have to have a strong why. It takes a strong person to, especially throughout an NFL season, each and every single day, getting up, when your body's hurting, and obviously, and it's tough, especially through the tough times of the season. Say you're on a losing streak or something like that, and it's hard to get out of bed. You need to have a strong why to get up every day and put in the work, especially when nobody's looking, and go out there and perform on Sundays. So, your why has to be extremely strong.
Have you seen that from Layatu at all?
Yeah.
I don't know if he has a bad day.
No, yeah, especially like his story. Obviously early in his career, he almost had the game taken away from him. And personally, I cannot tell you how that feels because I've never been through it. But you can tell, like I said, the kid loves ball, and that's all that really matters. Besides, obviously, his family, and you can see that on display each and every day.
Jim Bob trying to say that maybe.
Jim Bob is really biased, but I think he'll tell the truth on that one.
You've had some really nice battles with Josh Downs. How has he kind of challenged you? What's that battle been like for you?
It's been great. It actually took me back in time. I remember when I was coming up here in the league, and I think it was my second year. You guys asked T.Y. What did they think about me? My growth and that aspect. And he was saying, how feisty or scrappy or aggressive that I want to play and stuff like that against him. And I got the same take on Josh Downs. He's so competitive. He wants to get better each day. And he's a great matchup to make me better. And I do the same thing for him. So he win one, I win one, and we try to get the best of both sides each day.
It's surprising to think he's just in his second training camp. Some of just the routes and feel he has for the game.
Well, I think I give credit to him as well as the coaching staff, just knowing who they have as far as personnel and trying to put Josh in a position to win. So however way they, can make that break for, number 5 to throw the ball down the field, then that's great. But they've been doing a great job getting him down the field.
Josh said one of the things that you do well is that you can't get a read off of what the coverage is based on what you're doing.
Yeah.
When did you learn that? How did you learn to kind of
well, I figured out that whenever the quarterback and the offensive opponent breaks the huddle, the quarterback is usually looking at me to try to, figure out the type of coverage that we're in. So I try to. It's like an acting job, I would say. So I feel like I'm in Hollywood, and I'm trying to give off a certain discreet type of look. And so whenever the ball snaps, then that's whenever I can play football. So I try not to undress everybody else around me. I just try to hold my water as best as possible.
So it's not so much about not letting them know anything as it is about leading them in maybe a direction that you aren't headed.
Yeah, I try to do a lot of foolery. So I'm just trying to get the best of the quarterback to throw me the ball, throw the defense the ball.
You're used to being in coverage, obviously. What do you think of the way that play EJ made on Josh and just how he needs to go in coverage?
Oh, that's great. I think that's a step of growth for EJ. Usually I caught out the red button. Whenever you can't see the ball, he can see the ball, and you pretty much just waiting on his hands to come up and you got to slap and be aggressive through the point of contact. And so that takes a great level of poise to be able to get the ball down on the ground, and I think EJ definitely displayed that, and hopefully he can take that step, as far as confidence and guarding people that he's not used to always guarding.
How have you seen the cornerbacks grow in this game?
How do I what?
The young cornerbacks.
Oh, cornerbacks. How have I seen them grow? Probably just, the mistakes that they've made over the course of camp, or even the type of ball that they played last year. Not really trying to see them make those mistakes anymore. I think that's the best step of growth whenever you're hit with a certain play or mistake or a mental error or whatever it is. The next time it comes around, you can be better at it. So honestly, probably just not making the same mistakes. I think that's how we can be better. But that, as well as learning from the guys around you. So say Juju messes up on a play, JJ can learn from that, so he's not messing up on that. And so if we can be better in that aspect, I think we can be better in the back end.
Kenny, with those guys competing for the starting spots, is that a challenge for you when it comes to continuity and chemistry when the cornerbacks and the safeties are all kind of rotating and mixing in with the ones?
I think that's great for everybody. Honestly, just trying to rise the level of play. I think the more that we learn in the meeting room and be able to correlate that here on the practice field, I think that'll help everybody. So however way it shakes out, the strongest survive. So just having that aspect, we just got to keep everybody over the course of a season. I mean, even if you do win the starting job, that doesn't guarantee you to be starting, in a Super Bowl. So over the course of a season, we just all have to stay with a high morale and be able to stay together.
Thanks, Kenny.
Yep. Thank you.
No, another good practice today. As you see, we're trying to get probably towards the end of our install. Just a few things every day. So now it's about personnel placement. Looking at all our guys, where do they make plays, moving some guys around, see how it fits. We've got a little bit of time now between our first game here just to kind of look at some different combinations. So it was cool. Nice to see Nick make a play, Rodney make a play back there in the back end. So we'll just keep looking at them, keep pushing the whole group, and keep getting better.
I know you've been evaluating the free safeties. At what point do you try to solidify that this is our guy?
I think as soon as someone consistently steps up. I will say this, the last about 7-8 days, we've seen it, that position elevate, and that's what we were kind of hope, create a lot of competition there, and then just see the cream comes to the top. So, I think, once we feel good about, all right, this is the direction we're going to go, then we'll go. But I don't think we're anytime close right now.
You've been playing Julian there a little bit the past couple of days. What went into trying him there?
It's about that personnel placement. Just look at different combinations. Julian at free, Nick at strong, Julian at free and Ronnie at strong, and then moving those guys around. So it's just really looking at the different combinations and how they play together.
Julian, he had his great year last year. He's made a lot of plays in camp. Do you feel like he can still make a lot of plays if he's playing that far back at the free spot?
Yeah, we do, and he did in practice a couple times. We moved him back there, and he got a couple big plays for us. So, yeah, we feel confident where Julian's at. And because he's been in the system now a couple of years, that flexibility to move him from strong to free and not lose a beat at strong, I think it gives us some different looks at different guys.
How close are you on your defensive backs, on your two cornerbacks?
Corners?
Corners, yeah.
That's probably another, competition still between Juju and Dallas and JJ and C. Kenny obviously is in the mix in base, but in nickel. And then, DJ some. We're getting him some reps there too. But, really those three guys we're moving around and seeing. I think JJ's had a pretty good training camp. And Juju the last 4 days has really done well for us. And Dallo, I think that with that injury, we saw him coming back. He was still about, maybe, I don't know, like 5-10% away from being him in OTAs. But we feel that gap closing now to where he's getting closer to the Dallas we know.
What about EJ's skill set has allowed him to be productive as the will linebacker?
Well, he's got great length and really good speed, okay, first and foremost. But I think the jump that he's made OTAs and now is his instincts. That's what we're seeing now. He's playing really, really good instinctive football for us.
How does that show up in the run game and the pass game?
maybe it's play action passes, knowing that it kind of smells different when it's run and pass, his responsibilities. I think he has a good feel for personnel and formations and some of the issues that are created by them. And, once he recognizes that early, I think then he can just allow his instincts to play.
Gus, with Nick specifically, what does he need to do to lock up that job?
I think with all of them, we're asking them to be playmakers back there and then consistent play. The other 10 guys got to look back there and trust that they're going to be where they're supposed to be when they're supposed to be there. And when they are, they make plays. So that's what we're asking them to do.
The communication responsibility is different from free to strong?
Yeah, I think strong safety probably is a little bit more involved with some communication.
How do you feel about the depth of that defensive backfield?
Pretty good. I think, right now we're just trying to find out what the combination is, but we have guys that we can move around to see, and we're just taking a look at everybody. But, that's the good thing about this is a lot of guys are getting a lot of reps, and with that you get a lot of, good depth created.
What have you seen out of Latu in the 4 pads?
Kind of like we thought, where, with the run game and the pass game, is he a pass rusher? Can he play the run? But he's got the skill set, I think, we believe that can play both. So now it's just getting him used to the speed of the game.
How does his speed, how is it in that advantage against the run in particular? I think it was Bernie that was saying he gets down the line so fast.
Yeah, he does. His effort. And I think with Latu, probably his pass rush moves and the games that he used in college, he's going to learn that a lot of times your sacks come from second effort. And you're seeing him, we're constantly putting him up there on his effort plays. So if he can transition to that, he might get, stymied right at the line of scrimmage, but if he continues, he has an opportunity to get a sack, and I think, he's learning that part of it.
What do you think about Jalen Simpson transitioning back to cornerback? Had a pretty nice play today on the outside.
Yeah, he started off a little bit slow for us, but as you see kind of rookies going up and down. I think he's kind of slowed that down a little bit to where he's playing more consistent, and it gives us a chance to at least evaluate him. Earlier it was like, boy, his head is spinning. We're not quite sure who we're getting. But now we're starting to see him make a few plays where you can at least evaluate him.
Okay, what do we got, guys? How we doing? Nice day today. Fire away.
Where have things, or how have things progressed with that number 3 wide receiver spot? Because I think both have had their moments.
Yeah.
Alec and
They both had their moments of making huge plays. I mean, seems like every other day one of them is making a huge play, and then the next day they get answered by the other guy. They're battling, they're competing. We can't have enough guys getting open. We can't have enough guys making plays down the field. Competition is bringing out the best in both of them, and the Colts are getting better because of it. So we're excited about what we're seeing there, and there's a bunch of camp left and some joint practices and preseason games, and hopefully we'll continue to get better and better, and we'll benefit from that. We'll see where it lands when it lands.
Reggie said that, he expects them both to have some kind of role. Do you anticipate, however this plays out, that will likely be the case?
I think that's likely. Yeah, I think that's likely. They're both damn good football players, and we've got space. We've always got space to play good players and let them go help us win. So, they're competing for playing time. They're competing for targets, competing for everything right now, which is the beauty of football. It's the beauty of training camp. It's a nice time to just sort of watch them go about their business and trade off reps. And some days one gets a little bit of a more interesting script than the other. It's just the way things go. So, like I said, Colts are getting better because of it. I think just overall we're really pleased with that competition right now. Looking forward to seeing how it goes moving forward.
How have you felt about Anthony stacking days, just information consumption-wise and then accuracy-wise as well for training camp?
Yeah, it's been a good stretch for him. We throw a lot at guys early in camp, week 1, week 2. We're really shoveling a ton of information at these guys. And now we're getting to the point in camp where that install sort of slows down, and, boy, we're able to dive into the details. And for all of our players, we think that's going to lead to just more and more and more sort of, I guess I'm going to say this poorly, but just more clean execution out there. So we're all getting a little bit better every single day. Anthony, like I said, for a quarterback, we're throwing so much at him. God, there's a million cadences. Gus is doing all these looks he's telling you guys about when I'm not over here. And we're working through all that. We're competing through all that. And now's the time to really hone in on the details. So it's been a good couple weeks of work. Training camp's not supposed to be easy, so hey, there's been a hiccup here and there for all of us. That's part of the gig, part of the deal. But we're going to start refining all the information and hopefully the execution moving forward. We're really, really pleased with what we're doing right now. But it's the time of year where we need some work to be put in, some adversity to be put on our guys to see how we handle those things. And a little bit of that's happening schematically right now, which is really good for us. So all of us as a whole, we've had some really good days at camp. We've had some days that maybe were just left a little bit hanging there cleanness wise. So we got a chance to sort of refine those details and go attack them moving forward.
How do you evaluate AR using his legs when you can't necessarily use them as he would in a game?
Yeah, it's a tricky. Practice is tricky that way, and even within our meetings, within our group, we're having those same conversations. What do we want those reps to look like? How do we want to approach those things? And how does Anthony want to approach those things? We're trying to figure out the best way to prepare us all to go win games in the regular season. But it's tricky, right? You have 7-on-7. We got our guys with the bags out there. It's not a pass rusher necessarily. So we're sort of refining how that looks. And, Gus may tell you that in a critical 2-minute drive there at the end where we got to score, when the red shirt quarterback crosses the line, maybe that's not legal, but hey, he's playing ball. We're out there competing. I think it was a touchdown. We'll have all those discussions behind closed doors.
Did you guys need the 2-point conversion?
We need everything out here. Yeah, we needed all that stuff. We wanted to go get those things. To my eyes as the offensive coordinator, that quarterback sure got across that line, I thought, But that's part of the fun of training camp. If you go to the defensive meeting, they won't say that. You go to the offensive meeting, we might. But it's part of the game. We've got to prepare for the season. We're going to move around a little bit at quarterback. We're going to run some different plays where, Anthony's movement skills are going to be really highlighted, and he's going to have the ability to get across that line, and we'll find out for real here before you know it.
Beyond, go ahead.
Have you seen Josh Downs change from his playing last year to now?
Yeah, I mean, every young player going from year one to year two, I think that's critical. That offseason is critical, how you approach it, and sort of what you make of your game in the entire offseason, but especially the several months after the season where the guys are on their own. Everybody's doing a lot of different things. For a young player, those guys oftentimes in this league don't always know exactly what to do with their time, their free time, their 2, 3, 4 months off. Josh Downs went away and came back in great shape, phenomenal. He worked on his game. He had a defined plan for how he was going to get better, and it's showing up out here. He's moving great. He's catching the ball. He's getting open. He's doing everything we're asking of him. He's been sort of having a great camp thus far, and I've always kind of raved about Josh's just maturity and intelligence when we're talking about routes and he's thinking about how to get open. He's really fun to talk to that way for a coach because we're all trying to find that way to get open. Where exactly do I sit? How do I approach that defender? And Josh can think about it with the best of them out there. So he's a pro's pro. The way he handles his body, the way he handles his business, the way he prepares for everything. We're excited. We're excited for what we're seeing out of Josh Downs. We're looking forward to seeing what the year brings for him.
Along the same lines with JT and his offseason preparation, he was telling me about. It seems like he seems primed. Can you see it? Can you tell?
Oh yeah. He looks good out here, man. It is. The running back position is another one. Obviously, these guys they're playing full speed. They're practicing full speed. They're getting their cuts. They're getting their reads. They're picking up blitzes. We're not doing a ton of full tackling work, so there are certain aspects of a running back's game that really get highlighted in a game environment. But JT looks phenomenal out here. He's running around. He's moving. He's got great energy. He's fired up. Some of these runs, kind of that same discussion. We're in the offensive coaching meeting going, I don't think they got him right there. I think we scored. We ran those extra 4 plays, but I think we just scored on play 2 right there. JT hit that one. So he looks great. I think he's in a great spot. We're really excited for him where he's heading this year.
Jim Bob, what does Mo Ali Cox do that just makes it hard not to keep him around?
Yeah, Mo's another pro's pro. Mo, the way he handles his preparation, his body, his sort of just daily process going into practice, going into these things. He blocks at a high level, but he's not just a blocking tight end. He's making big plays for us in the red zone. He's catching the ball. We're moving the chains with him. He's versatile enough. We move him around, put him in some different roles. So Mo's been a really good player around here for a long time. Mo's still a really good player. That tight end room as a whole, like I've said a few times, they're they're battling for different roles and different reps, and every one of them wants to be the best in our offensive room at doing a certain thing and doing maybe multiple things, so that they can sort of gain those roles when it comes to the season. Mo's had the title on several of those things for a bunch of years, and hey, these young guys are hungry for it too. But Mo's practicing well. He's out there playing good ball. Mo knows how to get himself sort of going for training camp, and he's having a good camp.
You talked about rookies getting a lot thrown at them. What do you think for Tanner Bordewini and how he's handled being the center of the team?
Yeah, and center's a great position for that question, because we ask a lot of those guys communication-wise, with their guys up front, with the quarterbacks, with everybody, making decisions about maybe how we're going to block a certain scheme, how we're going to pick up a certain blitz. We ask a ton of those guys, and all we see out of Board is him getting better and better and better every week, every day, every walkthrough, cleaning up maybe something that wasn't perfect the day before and getting that thing fixed for the next day. But for a rookie at the center position, you do have a lot going. There's these defensive looks. These backers are sliding. We're motioning. They're trying to figure out exactly how to, where do we want this run play to go? How do we want to ID this thing? All right, what exactly is this blitz that they keep bringing, and how do I pick that thing up? He's learning those lessons as we go. We see him, Wednesday's better than Tuesday, Thursday's better than Wednesday, and he's just got to keep that process going. That's the rookie process for a lot of positions, but for the center position, it's vital, especially just sort of the mentality of sort of being able to ID those fronts, make those calls, communicate with your buddies and with the guys behind you. And then ultimately, you still got to go play good ball while you're doing all that. And Bort's doing a nice job coming along. We're looking forward to him sort of continuing that process as training camp goes along.